Okay, folks. So this is my blind version of the comet that's coming into the solar system and the front-loaded version. So I did the blind target a little while ago, and I'm going to do a front-loaded version as soon as I'm done rehashing over the data. So Kyle, one of my favorite viewers, uh, just recently did the comet as well, totally blind. So a blind target is basically we're given a number. We don't know what the target is. We look at the number, we tell you all the data that we can about this target, and then uh, we can either try to guess the target or we can just put the data out there and let whoever gave us the target figure it out, which is what we were supposed to do. We were just supposed to give out the data. I was given a target. My target was. Oh, hold on for 1 second. I just had it pulled up. So my target was SC0826. Okay, that was my target. I had no clue what it was. I was told just descriptors. Don't try to don't look too hard. And so I'm looking at it and looking at it, and I came up with this. So let me show you the first page I've used. This is my description. You see where it says AOL, Phobes, UFO, Comet, Mars, Conflict, Anger? These are AOLs. These are what I interpret. No clue, it's very strong, but they were AOLs to me. So I wrote that they were AOLs. What page is this? Oh, this is page 3. Let me show you page 1. Is that page 1? Oh, that's page 3. Page 2. Oh, shoot, I don't know where page 1 is. Oh, well. Let's see if I can throw you page 1. Nope, can't find it. So on my well, on my other pages, I had more data, but for whatever reason, I can't find it. But this is what I got off of just temporary looking at it, right? So, and a lot of AOL of the Phobes. Um, I can't remember what it's called. The obelisk that's sitting on the Phobes, right? That's orbiting Mars. So I had a lot of images of Phobes obelisk, energetic events. Uh, but again, the targeter didn't want details. The other thing it looked craggy or hilly, and there was a large oval. But I wrote it down as AOL, so I didn't want to, and energy. I didn't want to assume that it was a crater or anything. I just said it was a large oval. I couldn't figure out what it was. There's energy around it, and I, you know, I was really trying to not assume what it was. The problem is um, it kept these images kept coming in, and the image of this this is looking at it sideways. So it's in this picture it's laying down, but in reality it was standing up. And this is why I thought I was looking at the obelisk on Phobos, because I'm looking at this striated thing with the center that's veined or like layered, and uh, AOL candles. So to me, that kind of looks like an engine or something, but it could have been a structure of some kind. And it feels like there's actually a hollow area in there. So boxed in, overlay, brown, indoor, gas, old, AOL car. So I didn't know what it was, but all my data pointed to either something on the moon, something on Mars, and something special in orbit. So which turned out to be A1. And I even said it, is it A1 Atlas? And the targeter said yes. So I think it was after 15 minutes of scribbling the data down, I uh, I actually guessed it. Uh, the problem with me doing this target is, one, I had a lot of data. There was a lot of data coming in, and the data all pointed to a particular subset of stuff that I absolutely love, which is UFOs, which is the Phobos phenomenon, which is Mars and the moon. So these are things I love. So when I start seeing things that have a relationship to the subsets of things, I get excited. And the other problem is a lot of people want to do the target of the comet. So audio is okay, but I have a black bar at the bottom. Ah, thank you, man. My picture's not, it's not lined up. Okay, so I'm going to call that a guess, a good guess, but a guess. But my data was very strong, and I if I can find page one, I'll show it to you. The problem is um, my eyes are getting really bad, and trying to find the pictures on my phone is getting harder and harder. So I'm having trouble to do that. Plus, I have successfully scratched my glasses to the point of no return. There is no fixing these bad boys. So it's almost easier to not wear my glasses now when I read, because I can see just about the same. So on that note, that was the old target number. So if you guys want to try this target on your own, you're front loaded, but you can try that target number. It was given to me by a good friend on my Discord. So we were supposed to give just details. We weren't supposed to describe it. We or try to figure out what we were looking at. But yeah, I love UFOs. So okay, that's funny. If you hear in the if you listen really close in the background of the YouTube video, you can hear a brown noise. So when I was growing up, the science fiction writers had rockets that would have an engine that would last the entire journey. So you would hear the engine run the entire trip. So you were either being pushed this way or the rocket would flip and then push that way, because it was all it was an engine of some sort that was constantly running. So you'd always have that background rumble in the science fiction novels that I read. So I've always liked and imagined this subsonic rumble would be what a warp engine would feel like and sound like as it claws its way through the universe. Warp drive is going to be a little bit different than a standard drive in the fact that it doesn't spit out material, but you combine a warp drive with a electromagnetic drive. So the warp drive can get you from point A to point B really quick, and then the electromagnetic drive can literally claw the particles in the surrounding area around you into a drive and then spit it out the back. So you would have a rumble. It'd be a very faint rumble, but if you could grab a couple hydrogen ions that are floating in vacuum space, pump them up to 3/4 of speed of light, shoot them out your tail, it's going to be a little bit of noise. Let's just hope nobody walks into your stream. I mean, that would definitely take the skin right off. Anyways, let's take a look at A1 Atlas just for chuckles. Now, this is completely front-loaded. I know that A1 Atlas is a comet of mysterious proportions, and everybody says there's a 40% chance it's possibly alien. A lot of viewers have different aspects on it. My current view on A1 is, one, it's big. It's not like the Oahu Oahu or whatever the previous one was. It's one of the main images that I get when I look at this damn thing is, one, there's energy all the way around it. So there's constant energy, which could be the sun heating up the atmosphere and the ice around it and causing it to vent, causing it to do things. But one of the things that I constantly see on this is this. Okay? I see this. Now, I don't know what this is. And then there's layers. And I don't know how big this is. So I'm trying to, when I look at this, I try to imagine what this could possibly be. And one of the things I'm thinking is maybe this is a planetary core, right? So what if a planet is in a solar system, gets torn apart, thrown out of the system, and big old chunk of rock, but the chunk of rock has sedimentary layers, which is, this feels like sedimentary layers. It feels like layers of something, because I mean it's like empty areas, it's like there's glassy areas, it feels like layers. It feels like, so if you're looking for a natural geological event, you would look to limestone. Okay, limestone's laid out in layers. It has pockets. It has where the water has eroded out and created caverns. So if this chunk of rock had limestone running through it, and water had been seeping through that with carbon dioxide, you would have literally layers after layer of caverns and whatever, surrounded, probably encapsulated by, natural rock. This is my theory. The other theory is it could be residential layers, like a skyscraper. So you have protective outer shell, you have residential layers, and you have, the subsurface rock which you're traveling on. You basically grab a big rock, you slap some engines on it, you figure out your best way to get from point A to point B, and you just, light a fire under its tail. Depending on your type of drive, it's, slow but steady. You take your planet with you. Why not, right? Energy is cheap. Dirt cheap. I mean, we have a galaxy full of energy, so. But when I look at this comet, I see this structure. This is an important structure. And this is a big rock. This is part of that rock. And because I don't know the size of this rock, I don't know how big this thing is, I can't make even a partially educated guess on how big this thing is. Right? That's my take on this comment. And I'm not gonna make an educated guess on whether that's a man-made structure or if that's a geological structure, because you know it would be silly until we get more information. It'll be passing into our solar system and back out. It'd be nice if we could get a satellite out there fast enough to do nothing but get as close as it can, check the cast-offs, the bits and pieces that'll be popping off it, see if they can capture some of those, and then see if they can get close enough to take pictures of the structure and the shape, the spin, and see if there is actually added energy to it. Because again, the constant push from an engine would be easy to detect if you're doing it the slow, old-fashioned way. Having a civilization in there, not a civilization, having a group that basically lives in these things is not too far-fetched. Using it for a planetary base while you explore different solar systems, hey, why not, right? But the engine would be easy to detect, even if it's using something like impulse or warp drive. There would be motion and movement that is easily detectable with our current equipment. And on that note, to all the science guys who are out there, the energy around the planet, or comet, asteroid, the energy that I see, I don't know if you guys see it, because the energy literally wraps around and does a little dance, not so much around the midriff, but around from end to end. So, and I don't know if this thing's tumbling or spinning or what, but it has a strange energy signature. Now, I know when the sun hits something, it should have an energy signature that matches what the as the stuff balloons out, you have energy wrapped around a coronal energy, which is going to be caused by the solar rays hitting the hydrogen and water as it sprays off this thing. So you'll have an energy discharge in that. This doesn't feel like this. This is more of a different. This is a different type of energy. It's kind of like a nimbus, or yeah, I guess a nimbus would be a good word. So let's just say nimbus. Let's do a quick drawing. Rough drawing here. Okay, so this energy, as this thing's kind of tumbling and wobbling and doing all sorts of weird stuff, but as it tumbles and wobbles, this coronal energy, let's do energy in a different color so you can see it. Yeah, coronal energy kind of feels like that. Okay, and so every time this thing faces the sun, obviously you get the surface discharge of the frost and water. But this surface discharge and the stuff that pops off and gets kind of pushed to the side doesn't match that. So I don't know if you guys seen this, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't even know why this would be doing this from end to end on this thing. So when you look at the comet itself, you're going to see, hopefully, this energy around it, along with the stuff popping off in the coronal display. So that's kind of cool. One of the videos I watched was where they're talking about the ships are using this as a landing base, which I guess is possible. I didn't do a deep dive into it to see if there's, ports of entry or anything to allow that. And I really did. I mean, again, I like woo-woo, but I'm not going to go that far as to say, yes, there's ships going in and out, or no, there's not. I haven't looked at it hard enough. I'm going to do more. There's a lot of attention on this thing that that people want to know about. And I can't say for certain that I see little green men floating around on there. I do see this. Um, but for those who are okay, well that's kind of cool. Um, so wow, I don't know. Maybe one of the army boys knows whose that is. They can. You guys can always ask who that is to the U.S. military. They they probably know. So I really don't think that's a Skinny Bob. I don't know who that is. Um, not a gray. I don't know if they're part of that or if they're on the outside watching that spin through the galaxy. So now the question is are they part of this or are they just on standby watching it? This is a dinosaur killer. I mean, this is if it hits, it's going to be lights out. The cockroaches will win. So for those who are wondering if when the cockroaches do take over, it will not be pretty. And I really don't think there's going to be people in bunkers that come out of the ground, a couple hundred years later, fighting off these big cockroaches that are hyper intelligent. So, yeah. Video games, man, they really do corrupt you. So, I don't know who that is. This person is not somebody or something that I recognize. Um, got a one-piece suit, got funky toes, got a funky head. Not a gray, and they're interested in this gold bearing. All right, so for all the miners, this is a gold bearing rock. Platinum, titanium, diamonds, uh, rare earth. God, I wonder if this is a nickel iron. Nickel iron. Quartz. Silica. Okay, so we got silica, quartz, gold, um, platinum, titanium, diamonds, organic compounds, organics, methane, carbon dioxide, oxygen, xenon. Why is there xenon? H3. H3. What else? What else is an important one? Nitrogen. Why do we have atmosphere? Nitrogen. I don't know. It's got like a really high nitrogen in the void, so it's high nitrogen. See, it almost feels like we got tunnels going through this thing. Remember, I said it feels like a chunk of limestone got blasted off something and went into space. So we have voids in here that have high pressure. So, you know, a chunk of limestone got blasted into space. I mean, maybe a planet got blew up, and there's still remnants of that nitrogen atmosphere, high carbon dioxide. Low oxygen. Yeah, noble gases. Radon. Radiation. We got radiation. We got radiation. Um, radiation. Nucleides. Why would we have radiation nucleides? I mean, did this come from? This didn't come from another solar system for millions of years, right? I mean, at the speed it's going. So on this surface currently, as I can see, we have trace uranium. God, what's the other one? Oh, don't make me pull up a damn. So the uranium is almost spent. We got all the breakdown of the uranium. God damn it! Now I got to pull up again. Does the object have watchers? No, not plutonium. So there's uranium, thorium. Oh my god, thorium. Thorium is thorium breaks down too. I mean, if you have Coleman lantern mantles, the thorium it's a thorium dust that lights off so iridescently in the mantles. I don't know if they still make those because it's slightly radioactive, so they really don't make them. But anyways, there's thorium, uranium, nucleides from the breakdown of the two, and then there's some other rare stuff that that it looks like impact from stuff that was floating around. So you got to remember this: as this comet moves and travels, it's going to be picking up dust from countless of other supernovas and jets from black holes and just places of infinitesimal energies creating new elements. I mean, literally creating new elements. So on the outside of this thing, it's just a freaking, it's awesome. Awesome. And I'm looking at this chart of elements, and I could just go down this list of elements that are just coding this thing. And a chemist and a forensic science would just love to get on there. Okay. It's it's big enough to have its own gravity too. So it has a gravity well. So anything that hits it will create a dimple. And if it's not too big, will pretty much stay in there unless it ricochets off. So there's a good chance that a lot of things will hit it and stick. Okay, that's the outside. The inside has high pressure air, which is of course not very high pressure air. You wouldn't want to take your face mask off in this area. But it's a high nitrogen, low oxygen, high CO2, organics. I don't see activity. I don't see anything running around on there. Where I'm sitting at, it's all quiet on the western front. I don't see any vegetation. I don't see any growth. I mean, even if I did, I probably wouldn't recognize it. But I'm looking at this where the air is. And it looks just like a lava tube or a limestone tube. Diamonds. They look like diamonds, but I don't know if they are because they're shaped crystals. But they don't have to be diamonds. They could be silica. But they they have they have they have weird angles which kind of resemble diamonds. So that's why I was thinking diamonds. I was really seriously thinking about I was thinking it was like the core of a volcano. You know how the center magma chamber, as the volcano dies, the magma chamber keeps allowing the gases, which allows the gold to build up and the diamonds to build up, and yada 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 yada. So lava tubes are very rich in minerals, and this feels like a freaking lava tube, a big, massive lava tube. So whatever this rock is has ingredients of a lava tube. Where's it going? So it's going to curve through our. It's going to curve through our solar system. So here's the sun. Here's our planets. And this thing is just kind of jet in and jet back out. But where is it going? So all you science buffs will know that we have the Oort cloud out here. The Oort cloud has just a lot of debris and planetoids and stuff. So somewhere on its exit, it will be picking up and knocking loose a few of the boulders and stuff that are, in high orbit out there. They will be disturbed. So we're going to have a lot of the disturbance in the force. Again, it's not a big rock. It's a planet killer, but it's not a big rock. And it's not going to do a lot of damage as it goes through the solar system, unless it actually hits something, and I don't see it hitting anything. I see it interacting with things. Jupiter, Saturn. Neptune will have a very slight pull on it. So the way I look at it, we got Jupiter over here, Saturn over here, and it's going to kind of zip around. So they'll pull on it a little bit. They'll affect it. Neptune's a big old honking thing over here, and it will also pull on it. So it'll change trajectory a little bit. I'm going to be kind of curious to see how much it'll change due to the far off planets. I mean, we're talking a long ways. So how much influence will they have? And the sun. How much will that affect the trajectory? Oh, excuse me. And the fall through. when one of the scientific principles of leaving Earth's orbit and leaving the moon is using the moon as a slingshot. You basically fall into the orbit of the moon, right? So if the moon is here, you literally dive into the moon's orbit and use it as a slingshot to shoot you out the other side. So is that going to happen here where this thing gets close enough to be slung, farther and faster? That's what we use for satellites. That's what we use for, launches. It's known science. Is this going to happen over here where it literally uses the falling force to amplify itself to give it a much bigger boost on the way out? Gonna be interesting. Um, if anybody has any questions or want me to look at anything, just drop me a line, um, either on the YouTube video, or you can always get my Discord from me. Uh, there's a lot to look at there. I'd actually like to get some friends together and we can poke at it some more. I know it's not remote viewing when we do this, but it is a lot of fun to re-look at targets, especially unknown targets like this. We'll know more in the future, but it's fun to look at these targets together as a group, just because it's easier and you can use each other's energy to see so much better. So, yeah. Hopefully I have around to. In fact, what I'll do is I'll go on to the James Webb site and see if I can get some more information on the location, the trajectory, the pictures. See if I can pull up some pictures off the James Webb, and then we'll take a look at it together, because it's a fascinating comet. Maybe I'll take a look and see what else I can see on those high pressure tubes on the inside of this thing. And also see if anybody else. I'll go through some. A lot of people have remote viewed this. I'll see if anybody else has got this structure too, and the energy band. I'll see if this is a common theme in the energy band. As far as Mr. One Piece, I'm not going to worry about him too much. I have an active imagination, and that very well could be a very big AOL. But he looks happy. The rock looks big. It's a win-win, folks. So, all right. Did I check for watchers? Any else? Oh, yeah. I didn't look for any astral stuff. So, nope. Strictly science this time. I did a energy check and a basic physical with looking at basic things on the rock. So simple. All right, folks, I'm going to bail. Thank you for looking at A1 Atlas. Any other suggestions of any scientific kind of view you want me to look at, just drop me a line. I will take a look at it and discuss it, and hopefully come up with something cool. If not, I'll try to be entertaining and juggle things. So, your choice. All right, take it easy. Have a good night.